G'day from down under, welcome to Australia, a land of sunshine, endless beaches and unique wildlife. After the Great War, soldiers returned home, eager to develop the land into productive farmland. Veterans were given plots of land, hoping for a prosperous future. But the land was tough, the climate unforgiving, and challenges many. And then there were the emus, these large, flightless birds with powerful legs and curious eyes. They wandered into fields, pecking at crops, much to the farmers' dismay. Farmers prepared to defend their crops against the relentless emus, setting the stage for a unique showdown. The farmers toiled under the relentless sun, dreaming of a prosperous harvest. Then the emus arrived like a feathery plague. They devoured everything in sight, leaving destruction in their wake. Emus are tough, standing tall and proud, mocking the farmers' efforts. They can run like the wind and shrug off bullets. The farmers' attempts were futile. Desperate, the farmers appealed to the government for help. The emus had to be stopped. Now the Australian government, they were a pragmatic bunch. They'd faced down the Kaiser after all. Surely they could handle a few oversized chickens. And so in their infinite wisdom, they decided to call in the big guns. Literally. The year was 1932. The stage was set for the Great EMU War. Soldiers armed with Lewis guns, the pride of the Australian Army, were dispatched to the Western Australian outback. Their mission? To engage the enemy, the emus, and protect the nation's wheat. It was a sight to behold. Soldiers in their khaki uniforms marching across the dusty plains, ready to face off against birds. You couldn't make this stuff up, could you? The first encounter between man and emu was, to put it mildly, a shambles. The soldiers, used to fighting Germans in the trenches, were a tad overdressed for the occasion. The emus, meanwhile, were unimpressed. They scattered in all directions, running like feathered rockets. The soldiers opened fire, but the emus were too quick, too agile. Bullets flew, feathers flew, and the whole thing descended into a right royal farce. Reports from the front lines read like something out of a Monty Python skit. Emus dodging bullets, soldiers tripping over themselves, and the constant mocking laughter of kookaburras in the background. It was pure, unadulterated chaos. The emus, see, they were crafty. They'd learned a thing or two about survival in the harsh Australian outback. They knew how to use the terrain to their advantage, disappearing into the bush and reappearing when least expected. They employed guerrilla tactics, launching surprise attacks on isolated groups of soldiers and then vanishing before reinforcements could arrive. It was like fighting shadows, these feathered phantoms. The soldiers, on the other hand, were used to fighting in straight lines, following orders. They were completely outmatched by the emus' unorthodox tactics. The Great EMU War, it seemed, was turning into a rout. After weeks of embarrassing defeats, the Australian government decided enough was enough. The soldiers, their tails between their legs, were recalled from the front lines. The Great EMU War was over. And the victors? The emus, of course, the official tally. Thousands of rounds of ammunition expended, countless hours of manpower wasted, and a grand total of, well, let's just say the emu population remained resolutely unculled. The soldiers returned home, no doubt to a fair bit of ribbing from their mates, but the emus, they became legends. Symbols of Aussie resilience, of the unpredictable nature of the outback.